Hello, I'm Jerry Kirkpatrick, and I'm teaching the fundamentals of metal shaping. These are the pans as it came into my shop, and the customer wanted them to be exact, so we took many measurements to make sure that they were exactly the same as they came out of manufacturing. The first thing we did was make a buck that was an exact duplicate of the original shape of the floor pans. After transferring all of our designs to the sheet metal from our paper patterns, we started shaping the piece using a process called flow forming. And here's Alan, the owner of the car, starting the process. Here's a little more defining the shape. And here you can see that all four corners, all four sides came out looking pretty good. The next step was to put the X, the bead, in the center of the pan. So the first thing we did was to pre-stretch the areas to be worked. I had to make some new heads for my air chisel so we could get down into the deeper sections of the cross sections. Here you can see the buck that we made, that we drove the sheet metal down into. And here are both of the pans after they were finished. After determining where we wanted to make our cut lines, we laid out some tape to follow. And here you can see the couple of pieces of sheet metal we hung over the cables and wires. And here's the piece as it was cut out. Here is our test fit, and we did this to determine the overall width and check where the little indentations are on the rear section. After getting our dimensions, I made a plate with the cutout that was the proper depth for the undulation, and then we formed it just with a chisel, a corking chisel and hammer. And then when we straightened it out, flattened everything out with just a small piece of wood. As you can see, there's a slight curvature to the frame rail, so we took a screw jack to spread it out and make it conform to the sides of the car, and then slowly corked over the top flange. After making sure of all the fit, we tack welded with the MIG, and then welded it up complete with the oxyacetylene welder, and then planished all the welds, and it came out nice and flat. After a couple of more test fittings and trimming, we fit everything in place with the glicos, and you can see that even the little undulations in the back fit perfectly. In the center of the floor pan, there's a slight depression for the emergency brake to move, and as you can see, it's a well for water to stay. So we made a pattern for the bottom of the floor pan, and we made it the right thickness so we could use it as a gauge to make sure we got the right depth. After brazing on the little nut plates and test fitting it again, getting everything in place, it was time to start the front and rear seat brackets. They required a slight tipping around where the gear shift goes through, so we marked it, started the tipping with a crescent wrench, and then finished it off with a hammer and dolly. At this point, we tack welded with the MIG all the way around so we could get rid of the glicos, so we could start fitting the front and rear support pieces for the seats. After getting all of the dimensions right on the front and rear section there, we punched all the holes for the spot welds, ground the weld through primer off, and then tacked everything in place, and then spot welded complete. Next, we installed the supports for the seat tracks. Next, we welded on the seat tracks. We spent a lot of time making sure that the tracks on the seat were parallel, and then as we welded these on, we made sure they were exactly the same as they came out of the factory. And here you have the completed unit. We tried both seats on, and they slid fore and aft just as smooth as they could be. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this video, or you want to inquire about sheet metal shaping classes, give me a call at 1-707-459-2523. Be sure to look at my website at jerrykirkpatrick.com, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel.